I will now be going directly to the moderator, the session moderator being Ms. Nayantara Rai, Bureau Chief, Delhi, ET Now, and of course our esteemed panelist, Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani, Managing Director, Hiranandani Group of Companies and past President, IMC. Heartiest welcome to our esteemed panel, and over to our moderator, Ms. Nayantara, to take forward the proceedings.
Welcome, everybody. It's great to see everybody here with us. This is a session we've, of course, been looking out for, where we're going to be talking about galvanizing New India. What a better time to do that than over here. I've been fortunate enough to interact with some of you in the past, but I'm going to start this panel discussion with Mr. Hiranandani. Should I come to you, because you understand bureaucracy a lot? I think real estate must be one of those industries and sectors in the country where you need many, many permissions from the center, from the state, from the municipality. We all know how tough it is, and it doesn't end all the way till you get the completion certificate. Galvanizing New India. Now, this is also a government which has repealed many laws. It is saying it's going to do away with many outdated laws. It's a government which has given RERA to the people, to the builders, to bring back confidence. The property market has started to go up again. But real estate is also an economic multiplier. We're going to need it if we're going to see that $1 trillion being added in 3 years. Your initial thoughts, opening comments.
Nayantara, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to be with IMC and with you. And I think I concur with Mr. Manu Chandareya and also Bindu Dalmia that the opportunities in the country are huge, and they can only go upwards. Number one, the demographic dividend that we have of the youth of the country, the opportunity cannot but be large. Number two, if we want to do a double-digit growth, and prior to the extent to which our Prime Minister would love to have the $5 trillion economy, so do I, the growth story, and of course to see that the social infrastructure is also very positive, I think we need to do a lot more than what we are doing today. Yes, we have done plenty, and I think Madam Dalmia has really enunciated that in great detail. But there are gaps in all these things. If you want a double-digit growth in the GDP of our country, you need to also see that you pick up sectors like real estate, infrastructure, development, along with the other suggestions which have already been given by my eminent panelists. The reason I'm saying that, look at the growth which took place in China. Not only manufacturing, it was the infrastructure and real estate which prompted employment to be taken of the skilled and unskilled. Remember, the surpluses and the underskilled and the people who are surplus from agriculture have to move into the rest of the economy, and the biggest absorption of that is real estate and infrastructure. Yes. So while the other aspects are very critical, health infrastructure, very important, education, very important, skilling, upskilling, reskilling, changing of the skill sets that are necessary for the new economy, we really need to do. So what is holding us back? Plenty. We still have the decision-making capacity at the operational level not fast enough. Mr. Manu Chandareya has clearly stated that a lot of improvement has taken place, a lot of things have happened, but we still need a long way to go to really be on the top of the pyramid in terms of these decision-making issues. So I think that's the number one story that we need to do. But the other aspects of it are very, very important. The quickness with which we have made the changes during the COVID period, the pharma side where we were able to vaccinate, the health sector that we really got to upgrade about it, is indicated that where we want to deliver and we focus on it, Nayantara, it happens. So what is actually needed, I believe, is a focus by the central and the state governments, because a lot of it depends on the state government's action and reaction also in terms of the improvement we need to do there. So couple of things to be clear about. The opportunities for India are enormous. We can definitely grow at a faster pace and match what the Prime Minister wants us to achieve. There is no reason why we cannot achieve it. We have the opportunities, we have the startups who are there, but we also have the large industry to do. There is also another positive. China is being disliked for various reasons, in spite of the fact that we, the world, gave up manufacturing to China.
Right.
We gave the opportunity to China in order to make these things happen. And now we want to take it back. So the aggressiveness is necessary. One more thing I want to warn India, and the warning is very clear. Bangladesh, which was having a low per capita income 10 years ago vis-a-vis India, because of its proactiveness in manufacturing and other things, is today having a higher per capita India
Yes.
per income than
Yeah.
India. Now, what does it really mean? It means that yes, we have progressed very well and we have done a wonderful job, but we haven't done enough. We need to do a lot more. Things like road sector are doing fantabulous. 35 kilometers of road, national highways per day. Could I have even dreamt about it 10 years ago? The answer is no.
It is fantastic. Yes.
So
Yeah.
IT sectors, growth in the IT, all these sectors are doing so well. It's unimaginable, Naintara. I wouldn't have dreamt of it. But are there still gaps to reach the moon? The answer is yes. We need to focus on it. Indian Merchants Chamber should keep on flagging off as it does now and has been doing in the past of the issues that are needed in order to bridge the gap of this country. You in your media have also doing a lot of things in the media, so I must compliment you personally and your channel because you also bring out these points sometimes very subtly, sometimes very boldly, but I think it is coming out very well. And I think if we keep flagging this off and make the changes necessary, we will meet the aspirations of the people of our country and also the Prime Minister's vision that is so good. So great India, looking forward to this story, but a lot of way to go before we reach the moon. So let's go for it and all of us sit together like we are doing today and the investments that are happening both from outside and inside. I think there's a great future for India, for our children, for our grandchildren, and the prosperity of the people who are now the youth of India. Thank you, Nayantara. Great opportunity to talk to you and this entire audience that is here today.
It's always very balanced and very optimistic indeed, Mr. Hiranandani. Very optimistic. We need optimism. You know, it's very easy to talk ourselves into recession, right? It's very,
Yes.
very easy
Yes,
to do that, especially
indeed.
given the kind of volatile times.
Well said. Yes, indeed.
Dr. Hiranandani, I'd like to come to you. You know, we have seen a massive uptick in FDI in the last couple of years. There's absolutely no denying it. We saw that even during the pandemic, and that was only because of India's entrepreneurial spirit, the new gen innovators and founders that we actually had. Of course, a lot more needs to be done. There's absolutely no taking away from that. But as India galvanizes to a new future, a new India that you see from diplomacy to foreign policy to oil politics to to the economy at large and everywhere at large, you tell us, as someone who's been doing business in India for decades, if you can, and I know you do get those meetings with those top policymakers, the top three changes that need to be made ASAP should have been made yesterday, if not day before yesterday.
I think I will echo Mr. Chandaria's direction slightly differently. I think a large number of policies are already in place. So when you say that policies are needed to be made changes, I don't think too many changes need to be done on the policy level. But what is happening is that the execution does not happen in all the departments at the pace at which we will expect people to have. Look at the positive effect on some lines. Look at the kind of thing that we did during the COVID times. We're really proud of the story. Production of vaccination, distribution, efficiently doing it, seeing that the poorest of
It was
poor.
nothing short of a miracle.
Dharavi, can you imagine? The number of cases in Dharavi per 1,000 was less than Malabar Hill. I mean, can you believe that? I mean, I certainly would not have even believed it, but for the fact that I know that it is true because I'm very much connected with all these matters. So you have a positive direction when you really want to do it and the people are there on the ground. What Mr. Chandaria is referring to is the disconnect that you get at the grassroots level. I know people who have put up a factory, they've invested in the factory, they've got the permission very quickly, they've actually done everything, all the policies are there. The last mile road connectivity, because they're not getting permission, the 1,000 crores of rupees has been invested, and when you want the permission for the road connectivity, he has to wait for 4 months and 6 months for the permissions to come up, and those permissions take a lot of time. These are the kind of, what should I say, game stoppers which really dissuade people from actually putting in a large amount of money to do. So one thing which, since you are asking for a flag off, I would say that these projects need to be nurtured both by the central and state government in order to see that the end-to-end story is given help to the people who bring in large amounts of investments into the country and really make a world of a difference. They need to be handheld so that they come to the logical conclusion. Number two, what you mentioned, and of course, everybody mentions all the time, your improvement in the ease of doing business has happened. And I think Madam Dalmia mentioned it, and she's right. But is that an optimistic and Everest position that we have? The answer is no. And that's why you hear voices like Mr. Chandaria, because there are plenty of places where it's not happened. So while there is a dichotomy in the situation, sometimes it's a state and center subject. If one gives the permission, the other delays. There are certain committees which are there. I also have to face in the real estate. 3 committees have passed it. The 4th committee holds it up. And they say, oh, there is no member of the committee. They've forgotten to appoint the person, or the appointment has not taken place. So things like that are also happening. So while goodness, betterment, fantastic work is done in various sectors of the economy, and we are very proud of it. And we are very proud. Look at the Prime Minister visiting all the countries and the way he's almost an arbiter in issues like the Russian-Ukraine war. And can you imagine any person, being able to balance the whole situation and be able to make moves on that? I don't think anybody in the world would be able to do it. We are very proud of him. But yes,
I think we've given a whole new meaning to non-alignment. I think we've.
I mean, you're really. I think all that talk about being non-aligned in the yesteryear, real non-alignment has taken place just now. So I would consider this as a non-alignment, or I think it's a self-alignment which has taken place. Now, I don't want to miss the point. The point is, progress has happened. Has it reached in every sector of the economy and at every level? The answer is no. We need that improvement. There is a viciousness in the bureaucracy which sometimes is criminal. And they are almost like, I don't know what is the right word to use. I want to use a very strong word in that. They are malicious when they come to the situation, and they are almost sometimes extortion to the people who are in the business of business. These isolated cases of people who actually harass the businessmen, who have actually put in large amounts of money and use the legal framework to support them. Those are the kind of people which we really need to deal with over a period of time. So great work done, Nentara. The flag off is very clear. We need to isolate such people who harass and disturb the system from becoming fruitful. And I think we need to focus on that, what he's saying.
Very well. The tax terrorism and the terrorism of doing business at certain levels.
Madam Dalmia, you have used the right words. I couldn't find that word. Thank you very much for
tax terrorism. And
terrorism from the bureaucracy can also take place. And that is unheard of in many countries of the world. So we do need to get that out of the ground. And especially when somebody's invested a huge amount of money in the country, committing all these things, not only people from outside, even locally, lots of people are suffering from these. Recently, somebody told me to put up a restaurant in a city like Mumbai, you need 50 permissions. Wow. For a bar or a restaurant, 50 permission? I mean, what the heavens is all this all about? I haven't put up a bar, so I really don't know about it directly. But I can quite imagine if you have to go for 50 permissions before you get a bar outlet and do it, and then you say that there is no corruption. It's just not possible. So I think these going to the devil is in the detail. And while we have improved, I look at the prosperity. Definitely, you can see from the stock market, you can see from going into a mall and seeing how people are buying today. You can see the GST collection which is taking place. All these things are a positive. Look at the sale of real estate. We're doing fantastically. Affordable housing has done well. The other housing has done well. So yes, there is good prosperity, but I certainly want to fight. Next year, we have to beat Bangladesh and say per capita income in India higher than Bangladesh. And when that happens, back again to
So let's set higher targets than that. Surely we can set a little higher target than Bangladesh.
Thank you, Madam Dalmia. I appreciate your support. The reason why I'm saying this, why the goodness happens, people like Mr. Chandra who have come out and flagged off these issues are also equally important because they tell you the truth, Nayanthara, on the grassroots level. Nayanthara, what we need to do is to request your TV channel to get one person every day like Mr. Manu Chandra from all over the world to pick up those 5 cases every day of where the last mile connectivity is a problem. I think if we put that across to the government at the top level is very proactive. I've had the opportunity to deal with the government at the PMAY scheme at the highest level, no problem. I've seen the various activities which are taking place at the policy level, no problem. We've worked out a policy on education during the COVID times, no problem. So there are issues at the top level we have done. Percolating to the bottom, I think media needs to do a lot of work. Indian Merchants Chamber needs to do a lot of work. I need to do a lot of work in the associations that I work with. I think all of us need to support Mr. Manu Chandra so that people like him who commit to India should not have to say what he is saying just now with a feeling of, oh my God, what is happening in India, and India is my country. So I mean, thank you, Mr. Manu Chandra. How can I say thank you to you? We need you to come on TV every day till this matter is sorted out and we kind of pull up this damn bureaucracy.
Both of you have been very
So my recommendation to Nayanthara Rai is to get Mr. Manu Chandra on national TV every week till we get the solution on the
This is
because
really
you are not listening.
you call creative destruction.
There's a lot to think about, including a new TV show that Mr. Niranjan Hiranandani has proposed, and it's certainly been a very fruitful conversation where a lot has been discussed about the way forward. We need to act now and not just talk. Many thanks for tuning in.